Hi, this is Tessa Keogh, and if it's Tuesday, it's time for another Tuesday's tip in the Legacy Virtual Users Group community. This week we're going to take a quick look at searching for a married woman in your Legacy family file, and this question came up in the mail forum and also in the user group when the person knew the married surname but they didn't know the maiden surname, and in a lot of instances this is unknown when you're first looking at records. So let's take a quick look in my Legacy file and I'll show you 3 ways to do it, and then if you have a suggestion, why not add it in the comments section of this post. So here we are in my family file, and I have a family that I know and I have all of these individuals' names. But if I were looking for a particular person and I knew that her name was Bridget Donahoe and that's her married name, how am I going to find her? So the first thing I'm going to do is go to the View tab, click on the name list, and as you can see, this name list contains 8,848 names, including married names. So I could look up the individual by her married surname, and there she is, Bridget T. I select that, and I have Bridget T. unknown because that's the way that I keep track of my unknown surnames, married to Thomas J. Donahoe. Now that works for the simple reason that I've included married names, and you can do this by clicking on Options and include married names. If you were to unclick this option, then you wouldn't have the married names to compare that with. So that's just one way of approaching it. You can click it on and off as you need to use it. Now another way that I could get there, and I'm going to go back to James Joseph Murphy so you see that I'm actually doing the search, is I go to the marriage list, and I happen to know the husband's surname as well as his first name. Now I'm going to come up with all my Donahoes together in alphabetical order, and I only have 2 Thomases. So I do have Thomas, and I can quickly look through and find Bridget. And if I take a look at that one, I can select it in the marriage list, and that brings up Bridget again. So the third way of doing this is by going to the search function, go to Find, and I'm going to input the following information. I'm looking for an individual with a given name that contains Bridget. I'm adding a second condition, which is an and here, that the individual's spouse's surname equals Donahoe. Make sure that you clear your list before you do your next search. You don't want to be adding results to an old search or searching an old search list. And after you've done that, click on Create List. And that's going to bring up 2 results, and that's because I've included the married names. So I have Bridget T. unknown, and that's going to be the same entry as Bridget T. Donahoe, because we're going to show the family here, and that's the spouse of Thomas J. Donahoe. And so that's all you'd do, and then you'd hit Select. And there you have it. The third way of finding Bridget when you don't have a maiden surname for her and you do know her husband's surname. Now, if you have a small family file and you know the families you're working with, you probably can just go to the name or the marriage list. If you have a more involved search, you can always use that search function. The other thing I'll tell you is that if you're working with this family for any particular reason, go ahead and bookmark this person so that you can come back to them and work with them without going through and looking up the name list again. And that's simply a right click to add them as a bookmark, and then if you were to open your bookmarks, you could find them right here and you could work with them. You can go to that family again, you can remove that particular bookmark, you can clear all of them if you wanted to, if you were working on a particular project. That's a quick way to find the people that you're looking for, to save information about them in the bookmark function, and then to clear it out when you're ready to move on to your next project. So I hope that's been helpful, and we'll see you again next week for another Tuesday's tip.